It's definitely changing the face of athletics and college athletics.
One of, if not the first, in-state gymnast.
I didn't really realize how big of a deal it was. It makes it more special that I'm from Rogers.
Welcome back to the Next Generation podcast. Excited to have Lauren Williams with us today. Lauren, how are you?
Doing good. Staying busy. How are you guys?
Good.
It's
good to have Luke back.
Yeah, as a host this
As a
time,
host.
not a guest. Last time I was a guest, and that didn't work, so we brought Lauren on. And
Lauren, we're super excited to have you on today, and excited to talk to you. So, if you don't mind, just kind of introducing yourself. You can just kind of tell us. Obviously, we know you were born in Rogers, but went to Bentonville, and so maybe just what it was like growing up, and what you're currently doing now at the University of Arkansas.
Well, my name is Lauren Williams, and I'm currently an Arkansas gymnast. I'm a sophomore, and I'm from Rogers. I went to Bentonville High School, like we said, but just growing up my whole life as an athlete, I've done gymnastics since I was 5, and I've just been progressing from there quickly, and this is where it's brought me, and every dream has ever come true being an Arkansas gymnast, and yeah, it's really cool that I can get to be close to home and get to be supported by those home fans and get to be a role model for those little girls. I love it.
Yeah, so you are a sophomore currently.
Yes.
At the University of Arkansas, and you are a part of the Arkansas gymnastics team. What is it? Arkansas Gymnastics, or are you Arkansas Razorback Gymnastics, or is it Razorback Gymnastics, or does it just matter?
It doesn't matter. Okay. Arkansas Gymnastics is
Gymbacks.
normally
Gymbacks.
Gymbacks.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. Gymbacks.
Yep, we are the Gymbacks.
Sweet.
And are y'all in Barnhill?
We were in Barnhill, but now we're in Bud. These next 2 meets.
Oh,
Big time.
Yep, big time.
Does that bring are you more nervous to be in a different?
No, I actually
habitat?
like it. I like it
it
more because you bring more fans, more energy, louder crowd. It just you feed off of the crowd and the energy, so it makes it more fun.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so let's go back to when you started gymnastics, because it's woven for most of your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you started at age 5?
Yes.
Okay. So where did it kind of go from there?
Well, I was in rec gymnastics for about 5 years. I took classes on Monday nights, and it was just an hour long. And the head coaches on the other side, on the competitive side, were always eyeing me and talking to my mom. They're like, we want her on the team. We want her to join Hopes, which at the time is the track for younger kids to train for elite. And he would carry me over, and he'd be like, can you show me a press handstand? And he would always be talking my mom up, and my mom and dad were like, we're not ready to commit. This is a big deal, money, time, everything, because they were training about 20 hours a week. And as a 10-year-old, that's a really big deal. And so finally, they were like, all right, you have to decide, are you going to do, because at the time I was also doing dance, and I did a little bit of soccer growing up. I didn't like that. I picked the flowers. My dad pulled me out really quick. And so I was like, I did not like my dance teacher at the time, and so thank goodness, because I chose gymnastics, because I almost chose dance and gymnastics, and I tried out for the team, and I made it, and they started me at level 4. So I skipped level 3, and it goes level 1 and 2 are kind of there, but not really. Normally you start at level 3, and you go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so then I started training, and I was doing a little bit of, at this time I was too old to join the Hopes program. So next is your compulsory elite and the other levels of elite. So I was training the younger levels as well as progressing towards elite. And then I started progressing really quickly. I skipped to level 7 the next year, and my coaches were like, this is where you need to be. And then we had a coaching switch, and then he came in from Texas, and he was like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to train you elite, and we're going to try this out and test it out. And so at the time I was a level 9 the next year. So I went 4, 7, 9, and that's a really big jump.
Whoa.
How old are you at this point?
I competed
at level 9.
Level 9. I think my first year was in 6th grade, maybe. Wow. Yeah.
I didn't reach level 9 until 8th, so that's.
Yeah.
I'm joking. It's a joke.
This almost feels like a black belt. You.
That's what I was thinking about.
You rose to your black
yeah.
belt for the layman. All right, so you're in 6th grade, you're at level 9, you have a coaching change,
Mhm.
and you're clearly getting very serious about this. It sounds like obviously you're bought in,
Mhm.
which is crazy that there's that much time involved. And so you basically had to choose, hey, dance or gymnastics, just
Mhm.
simply because there wasn't enough time to do both,
Yeah.
which is wild.
Mhm.
And then, all right, so you've spent significant hours here at the gym. You're so take us into, you know, as we've mentioned here previously, we don't know what the life cycle of a gymnast is. So take us into what that looks like, because um, as as we have clearly no idea about what life looks like after college, you actually kind of took us back before that to say, hey, the life of gymnast actually starts a lot earlier. So
Mhm.
what does that look like? Let's say from 6th grade on, towards college, or what the typical life of a gymnast would be.
Yeah. Well, so the goal of gymnastics is obviously everyone's goal is to go to the Olympics. But it's really difficult and it's a lot of hours. So around this time when I was competing level 9 and I was progressing, I think it was 7th grade, my coach was like, all right, this is kind of the switch we need to make. If we're going to make it, you need to decide that you're going to start training 25, 35 hours a week. And you're going to homeschool and you're going to like dedicate your time to this. And so we were training it over the summer. I was training 5 hours in the morning and then 2 hours in the afternoon. And I loved it, and I just didn't know anything else but gymnastics. And then I ended up breaking my arm, and this like put me out some time, and I just kind of sat back and I like decided after that I didn't think that I wanted to do this whole elite thing, because it just started to be a lot of my body, and I was getting older. I was having a lot of friends and doing things with them outside, and social butterfly, I hated missing out on things. And so that was a big decision I had to make. And I think breaking my arm, that is the only injury I've ever had in gymnastics, was like the decision maker. I was like, all right, this is like a sign that maybe this is not for me, and then college is for me. And so then now I just started progressing and competing level 10. I competed level 10 for 6 years. And then I started the recruiting process my freshman year of high school, and it kind of progressed through there.
Okay. So the recruiting process then.
Is that when it typically starts
Yeah.
for most individuals, is 9th grade?
Well, now the rules have changed.
Yeah.
So you can't communicate with coaches until after, I think it's June 15th after your sophomore year. So
Later.
yeah, but literally the rules changed right when I was a freshman. So Jordan had changed positions. She became our head coach at Arkansas. And the day I called her was the day that the rules were going to change. And so I like put my name in her ear and let her know, but I couldn't talk to her for a whole nother year and a half. But with gymnastics, because it's so competitive and there's so many athletes around the world, typically you start posting stuff like in 7th grade and emailing coaches and just like putting your name in their email and in their heads to like look at. Like when my coaches go on recruiting visits, they go and watch kids who are 7th, 8th grade, because they're looking for their progress and what they're going to look like in 3 to 4 years when they're going to commit them. But the recruiting process for me was a little different, because I was emailing those coaches and I had no idea what I wanted, what I was looking for in a college. I thought I wanted to go far away. At one point, I wanted to go to Utah, and they were sending me a lot of mail, and so I was like, they're interested. I want to go. And then Jordan came, and she was head coach, and I was like, this is meant to be. Like, hometown, Jordan Weber. I looked up to Jordan Weber. I watched every single video there was of Jordan, and I called her, and then I kind of stopped talking to all the other schools. And so that was kind of a big deal, because I didn't know if she was going to offer me or not on June 15th. And so that was like something I did wrong. But then she ended up calling me on that day, and I committed. And ever since.
Wow. So that's kind of wild that the recruiting process is so early.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, and I guess that's what one of the hard things that Luke and I probably have no idea about is, you know, this cycle of a gymnast is so unique. So everything feels like it starts so much earlier than maybe your typical other sports, baseball, basketball. And I know that all those kind of have, different cycles as well. And they do still start super early.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jordan Weber is your coach,
Yes.
and she's a former Olympian.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of tell us, obviously, sounds like she made a pretty big impression on you. So tell us a little bit about her, about why you decided to just talk to her, and what made her so impressive to you.
Well, obviously, growing up, I just looked up to her in gymnastics, and I wanted to be just like her. I used to have a fat head. I tell everyone I had a fat head of her above my bed, like of her doing the splits at the Olympics. And so she was like my idol in gymnastics, and everyone has like their person they look up to. And so, first of all, I'm fangirling over her, and second of all, like I didn't previously, wasn't interested in the coaches that were at Arkansas before. And so when she came in, the new opportunities and the growth of the program, I knew she was going to do good things. She's a great leader. She's a great role model, and she's definitely a businesswoman, and she knows what she's doing. And the coaching staff that she brought along with her, I also really liked. So that just made it an even better reason to go to Arkansas.
That's super cool that you get to work with an Olympian on a daily basis, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it
how many
is
people
really
get the
cool.
opportunity to say that?
It's cool to have one, living in Fayetteville. Like I
Yeah.
saw her in Hugo's the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Jordan Weaver,
You're fangirling over her too?
Yeah, I watched her. Maybe not every video, but when
Did
she
you
was on
also
NBC.
have a fat head of?
I did not.
Okay, that's good.
I did not.
That's
no.
Honestly,
But yeah.
Rest in peace to fatheads.
Yeah, do they still make those?
I don't know. They were a big thing.
Are there
when
Lauren William fatheads out there that people can get?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Maybe I should get on that.
Yeah.
You should. We need to find out they're still out there. First of all,
I'm sure they're somewhere.
could you imagine
Like wall stickers like that?
Yeah. Could you imagine how terrifying a Luke Hannon fathead would be, though?
My normal head's a fat head. So, I mean, that would be a fat head.
An XL fathead.
That's right. So you get to Arkansas. What are you studying? How's it been being a student athlete and balancing all that?
It's definitely been an adjustment. It's a little bit different than high school. Definitely, you're given a lot more work. I'm studying communications right now.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what I want to do after college yet, as far as everyone always tells me you have time to figure it out, you're good. So I'm not really worried about that, taking electives, figuring out what I want to do and what I like. But being a student athlete in college was definitely something I had to learn to adjust to, because morning practices, we practice from 8 to 12 in the mornings, 5 times a week. And so after that, we go to class, and the Jones Center is a great resource for student athletes. On campus, we get tutoring. Our academic advisor is there. We get the Jones food. They have like a food court there for us that we get, normally really good. But it's just a great environment to see and engage with other athletes too, and all our student development people that are there too. And it's just a fun place to be around. But adjusting to the schedule was really hard, because hard practices in the morning and then getting yourself up and ready 30 minutes later for class, and you're tired, maybe you don't want to go, but you have to. And so it was definitely a big adjustment in managing that time, because you have a little bit less time with our busy schedules with required tutoring hours and stuff like that to get all your outside stuff done and your schoolwork done as well.
Yeah. College is a lot to, I was just a student. I could barely manage. So it is nice that you have that structure though,
Yeah.
Get up,
Yeah. And that,
gotta go to practice.
well, and you've got so many resources too. That's
Yeah.
great.
It's really nice. Yeah.
Y'all practice in Barnhill?
No, we practice in Bev Lewis. It's like
Lewis.
right next to Barnhill
Okay.
is our training facility.
Okay.
So you've been on the team now for 2 years, or this
Mhm.
is, I guess you're kind of at the tail end of your second year here.
Mhm.
So tell us about the team, about what it's like being part of the Gymbacks team, ups, downs, everywhere in between.
Our team is really fun. They're a blast. I love every single one of them. We all get along really well. Our culture is really good. We work really hard in the gym each and every day, and we all bring unique characters and personalities to the team. I would say that definitely this year from last year, we've grown a lot as a team. I know we lost a few last year and gained some freshmen this year, but the freshmen only added, and they took their spots and they stepped up where we needed them to. And Yeah, overall, they're just really fun and a great group of girls that I love being around. And sometimes it is really hard to see them and spend all that time with them when you're in the gym with them, you're in the Jones with them, you're going to class with them, you're living with some of them. You kind of figure some of that stuff out. Like, I've never had to live with my best friends for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And just like figuring out that balance of like what you need for yourself and what they might need and all that is definitely different than living at home, because I only saw my friends on the weekends at home. And so you have that bond and it's a little bit kind of different, but it's also good at the same time.
Yeah.
So how many roster spots are there? How many people are on the team?
I believe we have 16 now.
16
this year.
Does Coach Weaver recruit locally or nationally, internationally? Where are all your teammates from?
All over.
Yeah.
So my two roommates, Reese is from California and Callie's from North Carolina. And then Lex is from Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
So all over. And she does recruit internationally, but it's pretty rare that some of those girls internationally will come into the U.S. and go to college and compete gymnastics. But normally they're the girls that are elite gymnasts that'll come like to the U.S. for worlds and in those elite competitions. But she recruits everyone, and they're traveling almost every weekend when we're not competing, or even on our off days in the middle of the week on Wednesdays, and going and watching practice, watching meets, and keeping up on the videos and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really different. Like, I know one of my old teammates from home, she's in and out of Aspire, or some of the coaches are watching her, and some of the younger kids too, because like I said earlier, they recruit you from when you're in 6th, 7th grade, and they watch your development and what you can do.
One of the cool things is you are one of, if not the first, in-state gymnast. Is that right?
The first
The
in over
first?
10 years.
In over 10 years.
Yeah, so the second ever.
That's crazy.
hmm
So what's that feel like?
You know, I didn't really realize how big of a deal it was, and I didn't even know that that was really a thing when I was being recruited. I just thought, like, oh, I'm just another girl from Arkansas trying to live out her dreams, going to college. And then when I got here and the media and everyone was like, you're from Rogers, this is a huge deal, and Jordan praising it and stuff, I started to like soak it in that's like, I have a role now, and that's a big deal, and it's really cool, and that like I have that platform and ability to be that role model for the girls back home. And yeah, the fan base is crazy. And
Do people yell out your names at meets?
yes.
What do they? Do they just say like Lauren, or do they say Williams, or is it like the full name, or is there a nickname? What's being yelled at you? Everything?
Yeah, normally Lauren is what they're yelling, especially when the meets are over. There's little girls I'll hear, like I'm giving my parents a hug at the end of the meet, and they're like, Lauren,
Oh,
I
that's
can
fun.
hear them yelling across the gym. They want their picture and stuff, but they're all the little girls that I used to train with, and
Yeah.
they think it's so cool that like they know me personally, and it's really cool that you get to be very personable with everyone I meet and all the little girls, because I remember when I was a little girl and I enjoyed like when they would take their time to sign my poster or take my picture, and it does mean a lot to them. And so I have to make sure that each individual I meet and talk to, like I make it special, because it does mean a lot to them.
Well, that's neat. That's
Yeah.
a great perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's something special that a lot of, athletes who have attended the U of A have done as well. Like I think of Kevin Kopp's, his last game,
Mhm.
spending time after to take care of the fans and the kids and then that next generation of athletes who could come here. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Game day. What's the routine look like? And then once you're there, what events are you participating in?
Mhm.
How does that selection, because I'm assuming not all 16 are going out there.
No.
How does that all work? But what's your game day routine?
So normally on meet days, we wake up
Meet day.
and
Meet day.
yes,
Meet day.
Meet
Meet
day.
day.
We call it meet day.
Luke also.
I had a few meet days. I
Yeah.
did track. So
Well, I was just thinking
to
when
get
you're
out of school early.
when you're getting ready to smoke a brisket, that can also be
That
meet
is also
day.
meet day.
But
That is
this
also
is
meet day.
MEET
Mhm.
day.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So we normally wake up and we have what we call activation on meet days. So we'll normally go to, if we're away or home, the arena that we're competing in, and we'll do a quick rollout, get your bodies moving, just like team gathering, little huddle before we get back together at the time we're supposed to meet. And we'll do breakouts and we'll just kind of walk through, like visualize our routines on each event. And then after that, we'll go to team breakfast. Normally that's in the hotel conference room or that's at the Jones Center in Fayetteville. And then
Eggs, bacon. I mean, what's the protein of choice?
You know, at home I like
Fruit?
to eat eggs and sometimes a bagel or sometimes like sausage or something like that
Yeah.
they have. But away, we don't get it here in Arkansas, but we get oatmeal. And I love, it's like easy on the stomach, but it has some protein. So
You don't have enough. Should we put in a request for oatmeal at the?
Yeah, call
at the-
Jerry. Call Jerry.
Yeah, yeah. We'll hop on the line.
yeah,
we'll
With
we'll
Jerry.
talk to Mr. Jones.
yes.
Yeah, we're acting like we can do something, but yeah. Okay, good to know. Oatmeal.
Okay.
Are
Breakfast?
Do we have music going? Are we listening? Earbuds in? Where are we?
Good question.
So yes, at activation we do. I'll normally put my headphones on. We'll all individually go to our events and visualize and walk through and stuff. And then at away meets, we'll normally just hang out, do our thing, whatever, listen to music on the road. And sometimes at home we have study hall hours. So we'll do an hour of study hall that like after walkthrough or breakfast. And then after that, we'll start getting ready. And my roommates and I always are bumping our music and getting ready, doing each other's makeup, hair.
So what's the music? What's music of choice?
It kind of depends.
This is a clean
Depends
podcast,
on who's,
by the way.
who's on aux.
Yeah, this is a
depends
clean
on-
podcast. So let's
Yeah.
just be careful here.
No, I have to put do you have to put the explicit sign on if we
Would we have an
if
explicit?
we refer to rap?
I'll keep it clean. Don't worry. It just kind of depends who has aux, like you said, but just like something that'll get us going.
Okay,
Something
okay.
bumping like "Yeah" by Usher, maybe.
Oh, that works.
Around that line, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's good. That's PG.
Yeah.
We're good with that.
Yep. And then after that, we'll head to the arena, and at home or in the conference room at away meets, we'll huddle up and she'll go through lineups and we like do this thing, we circle up and she like lists the person, we like clap. And so everyone, it's like quick, but she'll list the lineups and then we'll do our normal, like we do the same chant every time in our huddle, and then we'll pack up, and then away meets, our hog fans that travel or our parents that are there will send us off. We call it the send off, and they'll call the hogs and we'll do this chant. And then, so actually one of our seniors, her dad does a handstand before every meet. And
Wow.
yes, he like made it a thing her freshman year. And so now we're cheering for him and he'll do a handstand. It's like our good luck. So
That's a lot of handstands.
it is a lot of handstands, yes. And then we'll get on the bus and we'll go to the arena, and then we normally do just whatever you need, taping, typical, get your Leos on, get your stuff ready to go, and then warm up, compete, and then that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Are y'all flying to the away matches?
Yes.
Meets?
Yes. Well, the two that are under 5 hours, we have to drive. So
Boo, Ole
I know.
Miss.
We drove to Dallas and we drove to Mizzou.
No, Oxford's
Mizzou.
like
They don't
9
have-
hours.
Yeah, they don't have a
No, it
gymnastics
is
team,
not.
though.
It is.
No, it is not.
Minimum 7.
Have you been to Oxford
No.
via car? Okay.
Mm-mm.
It's not 9 hours.
7?
Well, the bus is even
It's
longer.
closer to 7. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah. You got to factor in the bus.
The bus. That's
Mhm.
right. Sorry. Running on diesel.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know what events you're participating in before that? I know you said you go through lineups, but do you know what you're doing?
Typically, you'll have an idea of what you're doing. Sometimes it changes in and out.
Is it consistent through the whole season? Like, all right, Lauren, she's the best at bars. She's doing bars every
Well,
meet.
Yeah, I would say for me, it's really consistent on floor and vault because
Floor and
that's
vault,
what
okay.
I did last year, and that's what I'm consistent this year in. And then beam's kind of a toss-up this year. Last year I was in the beam lineup maybe twice. And then this year, I've been in it more. But we have a lot of depth this year, and so she likes to put people in and out depending on maybe your score potential or how you did the last meet and that kind of stuff.
How many scores do you take from each event?
So 6 people go up, and they take the 5 highest.
Oh, wow.
So you get
from each event.
Each event, yeah. So you get to drop
And
a
there
score.
are 5 events?
4,
4.
yes. So vault, bars, beam, and floor.
What's your favorite and what's your least? Do you have a least favorite or a favorite?
Yes. Yeah.
What's your least favorite? You sounded passionate about
Coach
that
Weber,
one.
Coach Weber, she's just talking to us. Don't worry about it.
She's still
they know.
confident.
They know.
She's still engaged and ready to go.
Engaged, confident. But,
Yeah.
You know.
I would say floor is probably my favorite event. It always has been. I love flipping and tumbling and just throwing my body in the air when I was little. And just now performing with the crowd, it's a lot different than JO gymnastics.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. But I would say my least favorite is probably bars.
Really?
Yeah, swinging does not come naturally to me.
Yeah.
Tumbling does. So not for me.
Do you get music when you're doing your floor routine?
Yes.
Is it Yeah by Usher?
No.
Do you get to pick
It can't
it?
have words in it.
It can't have words.
It's normally, some of them do songs without words, but normally it's just like mashups or mix-ups that they make just with random songs.
Okay.
But most of them aren't songs that you know. Like not like on today's hits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Copyright stuff.
yeah.
300 violin orchestra.
Maybe. Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
The build up to that song is great.
So when you are, because floor routines, you're, and then do your stunt.
Mm-hmm.
Big, build up to what you're, the flips you're about to do.
Yeah.
Tumbling.
Get the crowd.
Tumbling.
Tumbling, excuse me. You ever give the crowd one of these? Let's go.
Luke's idea of tumbling is slightly different.
You're like,
It's more tripping.
are you not entertained?
Yeah.
No.
You ever like, come on.
No. Actually,
Because you're dialed in.
yeah. She might get mad at us.
Oh, yeah.
But
we don't want to
I
encourage
have-
that.
I
If you
have
do that
heard-
at your next meet.
We do
We're
when
not
they,
gonna take
they
credit for that.
introduce us a little.
Okay,
They
Lauren,
do.
I have heard that you have quite the personality, though, during the meets by those who have attended.
Yes, I do.
So where's the switch that flips? Is that like 10 minutes prior, or where does it flip?
Well, I definitely do have quite the personality. Like,
Does that mean you get into it?
in
I think so.
You get
I'll let
into
her
it?
describe it, but
on floor.
yeah.
Yeah. So freshman year, I was not about floor and dancing. My routines in club gymnastics were like to violin, elegant ballerina music. And so then I'm a very bubbly, fun person. And going into college, Jordan was like, I have the exact music for you freshman year. And I was like, oh gosh, okay. And so I'm learning my floor routine, and Jackie she was our previous assistant coach, and she is coming up with all these things, and I'm looking at her with bug eyes. I'm like, you're crazy. There's no way I'm going to get out there and do this. And then sure enough, I did, and I ended up loving it, and now it's just like automatic when I go out there. And the worm is something that everyone loves, and that's something we put in freshman year. It was kind of a joke, actually.
Awesome.
My roommate and I were making up a dance one day because we were bored, and we brought it in the next day and showed Miss Val. I don't know if you guys know Miss Val is, but she used to be the head coach at UCLA, and now she lives here in Arkansas. Her husband used to coach football. I don't remember his name, but
Okay.
he coached Arkansas football.
We're just glad she's here, though.
Yes. So anyway, she was known for her choreography at UCLA, and so she comes in and she has like helped us and watched us. And Callie and I were showing her a dance one day, and she was like, "You're putting that in your floor routine." I was like, "Okay." And so then it's just stuck ever since, and I'll keep it. But yeah, I love when I'm competing and I get to flirt with the crowd and I get to have fun and make the students uncomfortable when they're like, when I'm like having eye contact with them and they're like embarrassed that I'm looking at them and I won't break the eye contact, and it's really fun. And Jordan's like, you have to keep it going.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome.
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So when you're putting together one of these routines, are you working with the choreographer?
Hmm.
And as far as the tumbling goes, how do you come up with, okay, when I'm doing this routine, I'm going to do this kind of
Flip.
flip? Okay. Tumble. Tumble,
Yeah.
tumble
I
to
mean-
me
I
is
know,
like a little
that's,
fall.
That's what I was saying earlier.
It's almost a
is
trip.
I'm aware of what tumbling means to you.
Mm-hmm.
Also means to me. Yes, I will say that.
So, like, I guess, where do you get the confidence? Like, okay, you're going to do the 720, twist,
Back,
corkscrew.
Right.
The backside 720.
Yeah. And you're like, yeah, I
It's
can
not
do
X
that.
Games.
Well, yeah, but like you're like, yeah, I can do that. Or like, how do you put it all together?
Well, so there's a rule book. So you have to meet a certain requirement for your start value, which is a 10. So you want to start from a 10, but your skills have value to them. So you have to have so many A skills, so many B skills, so many D. And then if you have an E skill, which is my first pass, a full in. Call it a full in. You do a full twist and then a back flip. So it's 2 flips and 1 twist.
I'm familiar.
And so that gives you
8th
bonus.
grade did that.
Yeah, right. Right. So it gives you bonus. But anyways, I've been doing the same tumbling passes since 7th grade.
Okay.
So that's just something you go in, and I have other skills that I train on the side in the summer just for fun, maybe put it in, but just kind of depends on what you can do and whatever. But normally what you bring from JO is okay to do in college as far as requirements, but you do have to meet a certain requirement, like your leap has to be certain to get the start value and stuff.
So are you adding things to your arsenal of skills as like in college?
No.
No.
I'll probably do the same floor routine for the rest of my career. Unless if I worked double A's on the side and I trained them this preseason, but it didn't.
Double A's.
Double
Of
A's.
course, we know.
Yeah.
Double A's.
Double A's.
Yep.
Energizer. Duracell.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends what they want. And last minute they changed it to a full in just because that's what I know how to do. And it's just cleaner.
So the goal is a 10.
Yes.
What's the highest score you've ever got?
995.
Oh, that's...
What'd they get you on? Do they put out a report card and say,
If
you
the coaches...
you blinked.
Yeah.
You blinked when you made eye contact with the students.
So the coaches can ask for an inquiry, and it's like a report of what the judges took, and they don't always take it just because if I'm consistently getting 995, they take it because they want to take it or because there's something wrong with it.
What does it take to get a 10 then?
How
You have
rare
to be
is
perfect.
that? How rare is that in gymnastics?
Well, so for Arkansas, rare. No one's ever gotten a 10 for
really?
Arkansas. We are now the only SEC school.
Oh, are we about to get into some conspiracy here a little bit?
Oh, you need to call up Sankey?
I don't know.
No, so we are the only school now. It was Kentucky too, but they scored their 10s this season. But I would say now it is more common for gymnasts to score 10. You see them kind of thrown up all around now.
Because the judges have gotten easier, or is it getting more impressive?
It just, you kind of notice whenever teams are at home, they tend to get those bigger scores.
Home cooking.
The scores, it's kind of a whole thing this year that like everyone's kind of dealing with, but yeah.
Fortunately or unfortunately, you'll have to roll into the world post college, which is doesn't sound like gymnastics. But I guess there's the ability to roll into like coaching or teaching or any of that kind of stuff. Is that something you've thought about?
Well, if I don't really figure out what I want to do right out of college, I'll probably go back home and start coaching a little bit just to make some money on the side until I figure out what I want to do. But I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to coaching college gymnastics one day. It's a fun job. You get to meet a lot of girls, get to travel a lot of cool places and stuff. But other than that, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's what everyone tells me. But I feel like I should have an idea. But also it's hard too, my whole life growing up being so busy. My mom's always talking about, she's like, you need to get out there and do an internship. You need to get experience. But it's really hard for me to do that when I don't have the time to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, because even in the summer, we're required to be there, and we get 2 weeks off at the end of season, and we get about a week and a half off before school starts. And so other than that, I'm here training, and we're training in the middle of the day, and it's just really hard to find time to do that kind of stuff.
So also introduced in this wild and crazy world is the NIL stuff. And so what does it look like for the university athletes to be able to, participate in NIL? Is that something you guys talk about often? Can just kind of fill us fill us in on the landscape of that.
NIL is a really big deal now for student athletes and even professional athletes, because before you weren't allowed to do college if you signed to be a professional athlete. So now that gives just gymnastics, we're talking, but like that gives people who went to the Olympics an opportunity to compete in college gymnastics, such as you might know Suni Lee. She got to do both, and that was so when Jordan was going to college, she decided at the age of 14 maybe, that she was going to sign and she was going to have agreements and she was going to be a professional athlete, which took away her opportunity to go and compete for college. And so now that those rules have changed, it gives athletes the opportunity to grow their platform and to use their platform to do things that they're passionate about, or be a part of things that maybe they didn't have the opportunity to before. And so it's definitely changing the face of athletics and college athletics, just because there's a lot more opportunities and just a lot more on the table for them to do and experience and to grow.
That's big.
Yeah.
I know that that happened once with a guy I follow in golf as well. He competed in a professional event and was not allowed to compete in college for that reason. So that's an interesting fact that I haven't thought about.
Yeah. Well, it's tough when we've talked about this, career cycle is prior to college. I mean, it's a little unfair to not be able to let those, girls compete in college.
Yeah.
And, the other piece of that is somewhat of the financial management piece, right, of NIL, because, depending on the different type or the different athlete, there's multiple opportunities or, some opportunities. And so does the university, provide you guys with some financial resources, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so every semester you're required to attend financial seminars that they provide for us. Well, for the student athletes in the Jones Center, our development staff, they give us people that'll come in and talk to us about maybe how to manage your money or what a stock looks like, was the last one I attended, and stuff like that to help us and guide us, because some of these athletes are making a lot of money and need to learn how to invest it or to save it, because I know that it's hard for me sometimes to even save that money, but it's an opportunity that we get because not everyone gets paid. It's not free money, but it's different because we don't have the time to go work a job to earn that money too. So it's also a great opportunity, but it is good for us to learn how to manage those big numbers and have that stuff too. So,
obviously we as Generations Bank have reached out and kind of formed a partnership with you, which has been really exciting. And, one of the cool aspects about it that it was, how we'll use the term that you've been described as a local legend, but you being from Rogers and then us being a Rogers bank felt like such a really neat partnership to be able to kind of mold those two together. What kind of excites you about being able to partner with a bank like Generations?
Well, I think it's really cool that I get to use being from Rogers, to do things like this and to not only help you guys, but also help my platform too. And I think just it makes it more special that I'm from Rogers, because you don't really have a lot of opportunities to do that, to have an athlete from Rogers. And so I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
We agree as well. So
I have 1 to 3 more questions. They're quick. Who was your favorite group of gymnasts who ever competed at the Olympics?
Group?
Yeah, team.
When
08, was it the Beijing team? Was it
2016 when Jordan was there?
when Jordan was there?
Yeah.
Good answer.
good answer.
Yep.
Okay.
Who else was on that team?
Gabby, Allie, Simone, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't really remember all of them.
Who's the GOAT?
Simone Biles.
Oh, is she?
She's pretty...
She's pretty good?
Yeah.
Is she still in school?
No.
No. Okay.
She never went. I don't think she ever went to
She
school.
ever went to school?
No.
Okay. And this is an interesting one. In basketball, we talk about all-time starting fives, but in gymnastics, if you had to pick an all-time starting four for the 4 events, who are you picking for what event?
To be our leadoff on each event?
Yes.
Yeah, duh.
Of course.
Yeah. That's
If there,
100%
if you only
what
had
he
one
meant.
person, if you only had one person,
For all 4 events.
no.
No, one
Like
person
one
for each
person
event.
for bar, one person.
Okay.
What you were saying earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
Said
making
it.
sure I'm
Yeah.
understanding.
And if it's Simone for all of them, then yeah, I guess he really is the GOAT. But what do you think?
I would have. This is hard. Simone on vault.
Is that her
Yes.
jam?
Yeah. I would have, because she has a new skill named after her on vault.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of
She has like
GOAT
5
area.
now. It's crazy. No one's ever done that. Anyways, I would have Suni Lee on bars. And I would have. Oh my gosh.
You on floor.
Yeah, of course. Me on floor. And beam, I would have. This is hard. Simone Biles.
Again.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
She just
She's the best.
outscores everyone every time. So
It's a great
fair.
reason.
That's
yeah.
fair. So,
All right, so floor, if not you, which you would obviously choose.
how was Coach
Who would it
Weber?
be?
Was she good?
she was good at floor.
Yeah.
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 Honestly, I would have to say I really enjoyed watching Allie Raisman do floor.
I
She
remember
always
Raisman,
had
yeah.
a unique floor routine.
Yeah. Did
You
she
know-
do the worm though?
No.
Well, that's not very unique then.
Yeah, you're right.
Growing up, I remember the Olympics with, and this may be Beijing, that was Nastia. Was that 12 or 8? Oh,
8. Yeah.
Nastia Lukin and Sean
Yeah.
Johnson.
Johnson.
How about that?
Yeah. It is cool to watch.
I like Nastia Lukin a lot.
Okay. What was her thing?
Bars and
Bars.
beam. She
Bars
was
and
more
beam.
of like the elegant gymnast.
All right.
That
Well-
opened up so many more questions, but like we can wrap it up.
Well, Lauren,
We'll talk later.
we can't thank you enough for hopping on and spending some time with us today, and not only thoroughly educating us on the world of gymnastics, from the simple fact of not knowing that it's Gymbacks, to a full in,
Yes.
which Luke will attempt later. So
Watch the YouTube for
no,
that.
no leotard. Off limits there.
Yeah.
So, no, but we can't thank you enough. We appreciate you hopping on, and we're excited to follow you, not only the rest of this year, but the rest of your career as well.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. It was fun.